What is up, everybody? Welcome to Townsend 505. Welcome to the channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're a lovely subscriber. Today, me, Jason, and Scott will be going through another album from The Who. Yes, I'm very excited to talk about this one because we're getting back into their regular studio albums. The Magic Bus was kind of a little detour. If you know, you know. But yeah, I'm very excited to talk about this one because, fun fact, this is the first album I've ever heard. It's either this album or Escape by Journey. It's one of those two that I like really remember listening to. So it's either one or the other. But for the sake of this review, I'll say this is the very first album I've ever listened to. So in its entirety. But how are we doing this fine evening, gentlemen?
Doing all right. Spent about $700 to fix my car this afternoon.
Well,
But now I got a car running again, so
that's good. I'm doing great. I'm excited to review this album. This album kind of begs discussion. When you hear it, you're like, I gotta talk to somebody about it. But it's like, who's listened to this whole album? Everyone's heard Pinball Wizard, but like, you gotta find like who's listened to the whole album.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing great. My Knicks are playing right now. They're doing pretty good. Very looking forward to baseball season. That's starting soon. My New York Mets are going to determine my mood for the next 162 games. But and I get to and this Sunday I get to watch and I get to listen to Bob O'Reilly for the Rangers. So very
And for the next Who review.
yes, so that's that too. I get to look forward to that review. So
yeah, it's the next one, isn't it?
lots of
Wait, who's next?
Who?
Who's
Who?
Who's next is next?
Yeah, I'm very happy right now. I get to talk about one of my favorite albums. But, anyways, Tommy. First off, what do we think about the album cover and the gatefolds? What do we think about those?
Yeah, Jason, if you could do that. Mine is in a slave, so it'll be a little difficult to get it all out.
I mean, I'm not sure what it is exactly, to be honest. I didn't quite understand. It's the blue thing. You see people's faces in it, and there's like birds, and then there's birds on the back. I'm not sure what's going on here, but
And there's a gatefold. You could open it up, show the crowd. Yep. There's like a big fist bump going
yeah.
at the bottom there. Yeah. I think honestly, if I'm being honest, it's one of the worst album covers from The Who.
I was gonna say I don't get much out of it, to be honest.
It's like, one of the worst album covers. In my opinion.
It looks like blue pie, but the Who is stuck in the blue pie.
Yeah,
it's an ugly album cover, and it sucks because the album itself is so good.
They should have done something with pinball, or even like the inner gatefold image is better, where it's just like the creepy looking hallway with like the hand or whatever, and it just gives off like ominous vibes. Like that would have even been a better album image. The album cover is very just like, what am I looking at? Like I said, it looks like pie.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like either that or like an up close shot of a microphone.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
It's an awful album cover. But let's talk about the music now. What do we think about the music? What's our thoughts on it?
Yeah. Well, I say this. I've said this before. I think either on my channel or this channel. I'm sure some channel about when I didn't know who the Who was as a kid, and my introduction was seeing this VH1 list of greatest rock songs, and "Won't Get Fooled Again" was on there, and by the Who, and I was like, I don't know what's the song. Who's the Who? Like, what name is that? My dad's like, oh, it's a great song, and Who's like this great rock band. You need to listen to it. And then that kind of introduced me to Who, and I was like, oh, I need to listen more of Who. And I'm like, what do I need to listen to, kind of thing. And I remember Dad saying like Tommy was a big album. I'm like, oh, okay, Tommy, what a weird name for Tommy. What's that about? And then when my dad bought the CD, Tommy, and I listened to it, that was the first Who album I actually listened to all the way. And my dad told me it's a rock opera, which I never heard that term before. Rock opera. What is a rock opera? And basically, like, it's a musical, basically, but with a little rock and roll, I guess, in it, instead of just a show tune musical. It's a musical with rock and roll, and wow, what a cool concept. I never even knew that. And I say this, I'm like 13 or something like that when this happened, and I'm listening to it at the first time at 13 and going, whoa, like this is cool. Like I thought it was a kind of blew my mind. I never heard anything like this before with the overtures and the undertures and all this musical stuff. Of course, now I've heard so many other albums with a lot of instrumentals, but hearing the instrumental stuff is just like, wow, it is like a musical. Like I'm listening to a musical, which is really cool. And the story itself, when I found out about the story, I was like, what a weird story. It's a little turnoff sometimes when I'm listening to the story part and going, there's some interesting ideas here. It goes off in certain ways, and there's some disturbing elements to the story that I don't like. But still, it's kind of cool that you got the story, you got this big musical numbers, and all the songs kind of really play into each other to build the story. And I don't know, I thought it was a really cool idea. I was like, kind of really like, I don't know, impressed that this was a thing, anyways. And it's still to my day, like, it's my go-to rock opera, I guess. If I have a go-to rock opera, it's this one.
This album was such a game changer. It came out in 1969, and I feel like this album and Sgt. Pepper by the Beatles are kind of the two albums that showed, hey, like, rock music isn't just, music for the kids. Like, this can be taken as a serious art form. And this is really one of the first albums that tells a full cohesive story. We've had other albums that have tried to tell like a whole story through a whole album. I think there's one by a band called like the Pretty Things or something like that had made an album that was a whole story, but like it wasn't as fleshed out as this. There wasn't any kind of like musical themes that went through. This is an all out, as Jason said, rock opera with a story, and the story has different musical themes that keep coming back throughout. Like in opera, there's an overture. Big game changer, and of course the critics ate this album up whenever it came out because it's like, taking rock music as a more serious art form, telling a story, doing more than just, like a 4-minute song with the bass solo like My Generation, even though My Generation is awesome. My own personal story with this album, I'd let you guys know how I was going through a Who deep dive in 2021 in the fall. And of course, I listened to My Generation, I listened to the second album, listened to Sellout. And when I got to Sellout, I was like, I've never heard anything like this before. And I got to Tommy. I knew this was a rock opera, and I thought I was going to hate this. I was thinking, this is going to be so boring. It's such a long album. The story's probably going to be terrible. I'm expecting to be bored to tears with this album, and I'm just going to suffer through it. When I was done, let me tell you, I remembered pretty much every song on the album, and I would go around just like singing some of it in my head, like where did I? Oh yeah, that's from the Tommy album. Just like, Tommy, can you hear me? I'm like, how do I still have that in my head? Or like, Tommy doesn't know what day it is. I'm just like, why are the themes from this album so catchy that they just stick in your head after only hearing this album one time? Like it's that good. Or like the da 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 da. And then, of course, this album is famous for having Pinball Wizard, which we'll get to that song when we get to that song. That song is epic. Needless to say, when I was done listening to the album, I bought it the very next day. I drove up to the record store the next day and was like, if they have an original copy of this album, I'm going to buy it. And of course, they had it, and I bought it the next day. So that should show how much I like this album. I mean, like Jason said, there are a few parts of this album that I feel are like unnecessary, especially the part with the uncle. That's messed up. I don't like that. And even some elements of the story are just like, what the heck is going on? But I kind of chalked that up to it's just the 60s and everyone's on drugs. I mean, Pete Townsend was into the whole transcendental meditation thing as well, so he was trying to search for spirituality or whatever, and he's trying to put in concepts from, his gurus or whatever into this album, and I guess that accounts for some of the more weirder aspects of this album. And even I think I like the idea that this album tells a story more than the actual story itself. The story to this album is not very strong. If you ask me, it's really just about a deaf, dumb, and blind. Pretty much it's all in Pinball Wizard. It's a deaf, dumb, and blind kid who's good at pinball, and then he suddenly can see and speak and hear later. I'll go more in depth when I get to each of the songs. But it's like he suddenly gets cured. People start following him around like he's some kind of religious leader, and then they abandon him at the end. That's pretty much the story.
Yeah.
And like it's like that's pretty much it. But the music is so good that it's like I'll take the kind of weird story. Sometimes I won't even pay attention to it just because the musical themes and some of the jamming on here is just so well fleshed out. Like this album really is the brainchild of Pete Townsend. It's like it's like you can hear into his brain on this album. I feel like this is probably his greatest artistic accomplishment. I mean, Who's Next is my personal favorite album by The Who, spoiler alert, but this is probably
so ambitious.
Yeah. This album probably best describes Pete Townsend as an artist. And really the band is an artist as well. This album probably contains Keith Moon's greatest drumming performances as well.
I 100% agree.
Like if you saw them live back in the day whenever they were touring this, because when they were toured, they were playing like pretty much the whole album. You are so lucky to get to see this live, because I hear that they amp up the energy even more when they did it live.
Yeah,
man, I am jealous if you got to see them perform this album live.
Yeah, I'm confident that they wanted it to be a lot more grander, but they didn't have the time to make it grander. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot more acoustic compared to the live performances where they make it a lot more electric.
Okay.
I've heard that they wanted to make the album a lot more electric, the studio version of the album, but it ends up being more acoustic. Which
I also heard that they made it more acoustic because they were leaving room for an orchestra, but they ran out of money to add the orchestra or something like that.
It all depends on where you hear it from. It really does. But anyways, my thoughts on the album. Yeah, this is a really good album. I mean, like Scott was saying, the contemporaries of the time, the Pretty Things. Of course, you have the side two of the very famous UK album, not very famous in the US, Odkins Nut Gun Flake. They do half an album of storytelling, but not a full story of storytelling. So it really is quite interesting seeing. I mean, I remember Jason said this is his go-to opera album. Like, yeah, of course, because what are you going to listen to? Preservation Act 2?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to compare this to. The Wall, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like The Wall kind of draws a lot of inspiration from this album.
But I prefer this over The Wall, which most people probably prefer The Wall, but I prefer this.
I prefer The Wall, but like just that much. They're like neck and neck. They're both really good.
For me, we're really reaching into Pete Townsend's genius. I mean, even though I really do love the Who Sell Out, I'd say Quadrophenia, Who's Next, and this album is where you get Pete Townsend at his peak songwriting wise. This is where you get John Entwistle bass playing wise. That's where you get him at his peak. So, and this is like we were saying before, this is where Daltrey starts to really find himself vocally. So we're getting everyone starting to get to their prime.
Yeah.
We're getting everyone's prime at this point. So that's one cool thing knowing about the Who is that they really become the Who with this album. I mean, I love Pre-Tommy. I really do. I love the Who Sell Out. I love My Generation. Even a quick one I get a good kick out of, even though I'm the only one who really likes that album. But I will appreciate how the nuances of this album, because it really is impressive how they grew as a group, from Maximum R&B to Tommy, really, which is it's amazing. Well, blazing aside, let's get to the first track, or tracks, I should say, because a lot of these tracks we're gonna have to include as one. So the first song is Overture, which goes into It's a Boy. What do we think about these two songs?
Yeah, of course, Overture, instrumental, start the album is really good instrumental. It really hits on the different themes that you're going to hear throughout the album. I thought it was really cool. Um, yeah, it's just wonderfully composed and everything. That's where I definitely, when I first heard this album and heard the Overture, I was like, yeah, you never hear this in a rock album, and you're like, gosh, well, Townsend or whoever composed this was, man, really good at composing this whole instrumental. I love the acoustic guitar playing throughout is really good. I think some of my favorite stuff is kind of good at the end and gets into It's a Boy, I guess. I love that acoustic guitar playing. Some really great stuff there. Yeah, and really segues right into It's a Boy, which is kind of a short song just about Tommy being born, I guess, and the mother father. It's a boy, and that's a son. It's cool. It's short. It kind of just sets the stage for the album.
This is awesome. Having studied music in school, getting to hear a rock band do this whenever you hear overtures for like operas or even musicals, it's like getting to hear that kind of bleed through from different musical genres and inspiration from that is just really cool. What I love is that it basically gives you most of the different themes throughout, like all the big songs on this album. Pretty much, you get to hear in little snippets. The very first thing you hear, I love just the first few seconds. You ever see those videos that are like albums with the best first few seconds? Okay, there's like videos on YouTube. It's like albums with the best first few seconds, and it'll just play a few seconds of the first track on each album. And this definitely needs to be on there. Just that boom, 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 with the drums and the guitar strums. And then it gets to that where it's just tremolo picking, where it's playing over the see me, feel me chords. Oh, so good. And then bump, 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 bump. And John Entwistle gets to play his horns. Yeah. Then you kind of get like the real strumming. The guitar playing on this is so good. The strumming patterns are just fantastic. You get that bam 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 bam, and then you get the go to the mirror medley or a melody. I love that. And then John Entwistle has the thing that's like what where he's playing his horns, and then it gets it builds up, and Keith Moon's like does this crazy drum fill, and that builds into the see me, feel me, listening to you section. It's the listening to you chords where the organ comes in. Bow 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 bow. Oh, and it's so good. And then it gets that wah wah wah, and then it goes into the Pinball Wizard. And then it's like a gong, and then it kind of just goes into Pete Townshend's guitar playing. He's just like doing this like almost country sounding guitar thing, and that's when you get the first like actual line talking about his father, Captain Walker, who mysteriously disappears while he's at war. His dad is like fights in World War I or whatever, and he goes missing. So it's like you think he's dead, you're never gonna see him again. And then you get, of course, it's a boy, Mrs. Walker, it's a boy, a son, boom, boom. Just a really cool way to open up the album and definitely set the stage for what you're about to hear.
this is an album opener, man. This is an album opener. I mean, they've had good album openers up until this point, and I love Harmonious in the Sky, but man, what an album opener. Like, to think 4 years ago they were opening up their album with Out in the Street. Now we have this album as an album opener. But Overture, I mean, it's like about 5 minutes of instrumental, but it doesn't feel like 5 minutes of instrumental. Because one thing I gotta tell you, and I'm sure you guys probably agree, it's like one of those instrumentals that keeps you engaged. Like, it's so interesting the entire way through. It's almost like you could almost it's almost like they're singing. Like the music is doing the singing for itself. That's how good it is. It's so kick ass. It's one of those badass openers to an album. Like, you're in for an amazing album. I love the part, Captain Walker didn't come home. Boy child would never know him. Because if you don't know who Sell Out, you wouldn't know what they're talking about. Because one thing I love doing with the Who is when I listen to the Who Sell Out, I always like to follow that up with Overture, like after Ray L. Like, I like to listen to Ray L before listening to Tommy, because you get a piece of the story from it. Because he's crazy if he's think you're coming, he's coming back again. And then the next song is Captain Walker didn't come home. His unborn child would never know him. It's cool. I think that's awesome. Another one, Believe Him, Missing with Another Man, Don't Expect to See Again. That's awesome. There's like very few lyrics in the song, but they're awesome. They're like it captures the story very, very well. And Jason said perfectly. The acoustic guitar playing before It's a Boy is awesome. It's so cool, and then he goes into it's a boy, Mrs. Walker, it's a boy. I can just imagine like Pete Townsend play like the nurse. Yeah, guys ever watch Hotel Transylvania 2?
Yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah,
it's like the vampire. I forget his name, but the vampire, like pretends to be a nurse.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah, Adam Sandler. Like he pretends to be like a female nurse. Like, it's a boy. Like, you just imagine Pete Townsend doing that. It's like, it's a boy, Mrs. Walker. It's a boy. Like, dressed up in drag and like a woman. Yeah, I love how triumphant it sounds.
It's catchy.
Son. Like, it's about like so like the overture I'm looking at right now is like about almost 5.5 minutes, and the It's a Boy is it's like 40 seconds. So you get like 6 minutes of just awesomeness to open up the album. You're just like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's all I gotta say is wow. All right. So we follow that up with, and there's only one song, 1921. What do we think about 1921?
Yeah, it's a nice song. Yeah, my recollection of the story is that his father comes home and from the war or whatever, and his wife's with another guy, and I think they murder him, and Tommy witnesses it, so they have to say, "You didn't see it, you didn't know,
I saw it,"
and whatever, the whole part, and so that kind of sets off the whole story. This is all kind of an intro. I feel like the first 3 songs, just an intro to the fact that Tommy he's deaf, dumb, and blind, not physically, but mentally, because there's a mental block due to this traumatic event that happened, is what my sense is on the whole thing, which is an interesting idea, which does happen to people. Anyway, so it is interesting to set up the whole kind of the what happens in the story really comes, right here. I do love and I believe 21's gonna be a good year. like you and me, not him, or something like that, or never. I don't know. It's a really nice melody. I really do like that first part. Yeah, 21 is gonna be a good year. And I remember 2021. I was thinking about this song a lot. Like 21. I don't think 2021 was necessarily a good year, but I was like hoping it would get better after 2020 was so terrible. And I was thinking 21 is going to be a good. So I did love that when that came out. Anyways, but yeah, it's a nice song.
Yeah, I like this one as well. I like the piano at the beginning, and then you get the guitar strumming, and then you get the melody. I've got a feeling 21 is gonna be a good year. So you think 21 is gonna be a good year? Yeah, really good. I like that. And then yeah, Jason's right. The story, the dad does come home and sees that his wife is with someone else, and so like he murders him, and like the kid sees it, and then like the wife and the dad say like, you didn't see it, you didn't hear it, you won't say a word, or however that goes, and then like in the background you hear him say, I saw it. Like kind of quietly. I've always kind of liked that attention to detail. But yeah, really good way to kind of start out the story and talk about why he has his issues he does on this album. Kind of interesting. I wonder if Townshend studied psychology, because that's a very psychological reason for him to have this ailment. It's just like a mental block that's on his head.
Yeah.
It's a really good song. It's like, one thing I know it's weird is you open up the first three songs and it's all Pete Townshend singing. You don't get a lick of, the only part of Roger you're getting is the I saw it. That's like the only Roger you get the first three songs, which, it's interesting because, you think of The Who, you think Roger Daltrey is the lead singer. So I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, Pete Townshend opened up the first three songs. Nonetheless, song itself, it's a catchy song. I think 21 is gonna be a good year. I don't know why I gotta be. It's like something about there's no reason
to be over optimistic.
When I see you
somehow when you smile, I can face bad weather.
That's a great part.
And yeah, of course, we all love the. I agree with you guys. I love the part. You never seen it, you never saw it, you won't tell anyone. What you know is the truth. I love the part too. Like I think it's like the mother. I think the father's supposed to be one who's like, oh yeah, 1921 to be a good year, or no. I think Pete Townshend's supposed to be like the mother, and then like the other. I think it's also. I'm not sure if it's also Townshend or Daltrey.
I think the lyric page says who's like. Has like the characters' names and who sings what, but my copy didn't come with the lyric page, so I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna do my best guess. I'm guessing the person who's singing I think 21 is gonna be a good year. I think it's the mother, and I think the one's like, what about the boy?
I think it's supposed to be the boyfriend, because the next thing is the dad saying, so you think that 21 is gonna be a good year? It might be for me and her, but you and her, no, never.
Yeah,
that's true. But I just love whoever's singing that part. What about the boy? What about the boy? He said it all.
Yeah,
I love that part. And then at the end, he goes, "What about the boy?
What about the boy?" Yeah, so good.
That's such a musical way to end the song.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
I know.
What about the boy?
It's like a musical way, but it works so much. That's what I love about it. Anyways, great song. Next up in our discussion, Amazing Journey, which goes into the instrumental Sparks. What do you think about those two tracks?
Yeah, this is such a good song instrumentally and everything. It's really kind of starts off, where you're like, oh my gosh, the drumming is so good. This is where I've heard this album so many times, and now listening to it today again, I was really keying in on the drumming, and like Scott said, I think this is like the best drumming I think I've heard out of Keith Moon, especially up to this point. He was a good drummer and all that, but this is just another level, I feel like, with this just fast-paced drumming and stuff. And this one has some great drum fills in it that are just amazing, that you're just like, oh my God. That's my favorite part. It's like the drumming. I do love the guitar strum. The guitar strumming is also really great on this song, anyways. And this definitely, to me, starts off like the best part of this whole album. I think the next like 5 songs was like, this is the amazing moment, I think, in the album.
This is really what it's all about with The Who. This is what The Who is all about. This, especially the jamming on this section here. Starting out with Amazing Journey. Amazing Journey is awesome. This is kind of where you get Roger for the first time on the album. He's kind of finding his voice here. Story-wise, it's talking about how Tommy sees the world since he's deaf, dumb, and blind. Usually whenever you don't have certain senses, other senses become stronger. And since most of his senses are deactivated, apparently his sense that's strongest is his sense of music. So, like, the song is explaining that he senses the world through music. And I like the line, "Sickness may surely take the mind where minds won't usually go." I think what that means is, like, I don't think it's trying to say he's mentally sick, but it's supposed to be like, you know, if you're an artist and your brain your brain always works a little different when you're an artist. So you have to see the world a little bit differently in order to be an artist, is I think what he's saying with that line. And then it talks about like some guy with long hair or whatever who's your guide through the amazing journey. I tend to think that that's Pete Townsend trying to put himself into the song through this character. Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be a narrator or whatever. I tend to think it's Pete Townsend who's trying to insert himself into the song. But you get like this sound that sounds like something's getting just sucked out of the record, which apparently is, you remember what we were talking about Magic Bus with the claves percussion? It's that, but reversed. So they hit it and then they reverse the sound effect. So every time it goes, the sound is the claves, but they're reversing them, which is really cool. And then when you get to the chorus of the Amazing Journey section with the there's some kind of like big echo put on and like all this weird sound effects that are so trippy but super cool. Then you get to Sparks, where Keith Moon is just going ham on the drums. They kind of just jam out there for a while, just like that boom 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 boom. And then you get something we've heard before. Down 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 yeah, they ripped off Rael for this album. They literally put the same thing on here, but it works. Literally, it works better in this context because it's kind of like trying to paint the picture of Sparks is basically painting the picture of Tommy's mind, kind of how he sees the world. So they're trying to basically just play a lot of really cool music to kind of just show how he senses things. And like this instrumental piece is just awesome.
Yeah, I really here's the thing, I really like Sparks. But I'm gonna be honest, I've never been the biggest fan of Amazing Journey. Really? I think Amazing Journey is good for the instruments, but
yeah,
I think it's a weak way to have Daltrey open the album, though. I'm not sure for the way he sings. It's not one of my favorites.
His vocals are kind of tattoo-esque.
Yeah, it doesn't work because you have the rest of the album where he's like singing the way he's supposed to be singing. Well, the next song we're gonna get a lot of that, but this song I'm like, it's fine. I think it goes on a little longer than it should. It's 5 minutes long. This is more right where I feel the time drags a little. But otherwise, it's a good song though. Musically, like I paid more attention musically than I do vocally. But to me, the part that I really like is Sparks. Sparks. Now, I love Sparks. I love it a lot because got my favorite song on the last album, Rael. Mm-hmm. It's a slower version though. It's like a slower version, but it's good though. It's like a cooler, unique, slower version. Obviously, it's not as crazy or as elaborate as the last one. Like the last one, you got one bum bum boom boom. like going crazy on you. This one, it's just like dun 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 dun. It doesn't have to go crazy. It doesn't have to go.
Yeah.
It's not like as crazy, but it works though. Like it would have been weird if they would have went crazy on the drums on this one. Like the last one, they were kind of going for more psychedelic feel. This is more like a concept album. It would have been weird if they did the Rael version where they just went absolutely bonkers on the drums on it. But it works here. It works here, and of course, out of habit, now that I've heard the Who sell out a billion times and Rael a billion times, every time it gets to a certain part of the dun 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 dun, I just like in my head, I'm going, he's crazy if he thinks we're coming back again. He's crazy if he thinks we're coming back again. He's crazy anyway. I'm just in my mind, I'm thinking about that, but anyone who's never heard that album would be like, what are you talking about? Like, anyone who's probably watching this review who's never heard the album is like, what is he talking about, you crazy knock? I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, listen to Rael. Listen to Rael. If you're a big fan of this album, if you're not even like a Who fan, if you're a fan of this album, check out Rael. You'll know what I'm talking about. Thank me later. Pause this review. Go on a different tab. Listen to Rael. Come back to this video. Thank me in the comments. I mean, no one really watches my videos, but if you are, type in the comments and thank me later. But anyway, I think it's a really cool instrumental. But we close out the first side of the album with Eyesight to the Blind, parentheses, the Hawker. And the fun fact about this song was not written by The Who.
Oh.
This is written by Sonny Boy.
Yeah, I saw that name in there.
It is not The Who. They sung it. I mean, Pete Townsend composed it, but this is not a Who song. This is the only fun fact. This is the only cover on the album. Fun fact.
Okay. Well, this is really great song. Like another absolutely fantastic rock song, and it really comes to a couple different things, but man, those downstrokes are so good. That bump bump bump. First, it's like this. You hear this bump bump bump, and then the electric guitar kicks in too, and I think bass too hits kind of the same. Just this bump 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 bump. Oh, it's so good. And then you have that drumming around it. Oh, it's so awesome. The dun dun do 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 bump dun do 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 dun dun dun. Oh, the sound of that guitar strumming and the drumming is so good. Again, amazing drumming by Keith Moon, and this is where Daltrey kicks it up a level vocally. Like, I don't think I've ever heard him sing like this up to this point as much. I mean, even if you go to My Generation or I Can See for Miles, he does a good job, in some of those rock songs. He's fine, but he is something else on this song. And as I listen to this, I just go, he went from like, a decent lead singer on a rock band to being one of the greats, on not just this song, but songs coming up, but definitely starting with this song. This is where I feel like Daltrey just, and you hear it in the next albums. I mean, Daltrey just kicks it up a level. It's a great rock song.
Yeah, this is a fun way to close out the first side of the album, especially with the guitar. There's the bow, 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 and the way the drums play off that doom, ba-dum, boom. And then when Daltrey comes in, we were talking about how this is the album where he finds his voice. Here it is. He just starts belting it out. Man, so good. It's interesting that this is a cover song. It's an old blues song, but they worked it into the story because they thought the lyrics worked. I think it's about this guy who's like saying like, "Hey, my wife knows how to cure like blindness," but in the original context of the song, it's just like, my wife can cure eyesight to the blind, or what? My girl can cure eyesight to the blind. Basically, but you can put two and two together with that one. It's a fun way to end out the first side.
First thing before I review the Who version, one thing I gotta say, Aerosmith, you did a horrible job on this song. Boo. Your version sucks.
Don't ever honk on Bobo again.
Pretty much.
Oh my god.
Now the Who version. Yeah, this song kicks ass. This is the best song we've gotten up until this point. And for a good reason. This is such a badass song. You have Daltrey going absolutely nuts on the song. You talk about your woman. I hope you I hope you. I mean, I wish you could see mine. You talk about your woman. I wish you could see mine. Dun 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 dun. Dun. She's got power to hear you. You know, like it's just so good. Like his voice, like again, this should have been his first song. This should have been like his introduction song, not Amazing Journey, where he's like, I'm on the amazing journey. You know, like it's okay, but this is where you really gain the piece of Daltrey that we all know and love. It's a badass song, and it's a great way to close out the first side of the record. Now, I'm not gonna get to it now, but we're gonna get to a point of the album where it's not gonna affect the score of the album, but it will affect the way I rank the album. But we'll get there. Next song of the album, though, Christmas. What do you think about Christmas?
I love this song. This song is definitely one of my favorites on the album. There's so much going on. It feels like I love the melody overall. It's from the parents' point of view, of course, about Tommy, and it's funny. It's about Christmas, but it's about worrying about Tommy because he doesn't know what's going on because he's deaf, dumb, and blind, and wondering what's going to happen with him, and kind of his future and all that. Man, it's super catchy. But first, kind of just going through talking about how exciting Christmas morning is or something like that, and all the kids, they're delighted. Ba, ba, ba. And that was backing vocals, so good. The ba, 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 ba. Like amazing stuff there. And then you get into that, Tommy doesn't know what day it is, doesn't know who Jesus was or what praying is. How can he be saved from the eternal grave? That part, oh, so good. And it kind of says a lot about, their mind frame of like what's going to happen to his soul, Tommy, and, and you got, I believe Tommy, that's when you first hear the hear me, see me, whatever, feel me. And that's kind of like the inner Tommy coming out, he's there, but he's, trapped inside this, body, whatever. And he wants people, anyway, so that's such an iconic moment that happens throughout the album, kind of the Tommy theme, I guess. And then you get that amazing moment of like, Tommy, can you hear me? Do 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 do. Tommy, can you hear me? Do 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 do. Like that part's great. Can you hear me? How can? And it goes right back into the main part of the song. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Just the way the song is constructed, I think is so amazing. Again, the drumming is so good as well. It's just one of the best.
This may be Moon's best drumming performance. It's either this or another song on the next album, but the drums on this are so good. It just the song itself kind of just kicks straight in with the vocals, and of course Roger is doing his full voice on this one, not holding back anymore. Did you see the children's faces? They are so excited. And then the backing vocals, just like, I don't know how they did that, but it's just so fun how they did that. It's a cool effect. And the chorus is just so catchy with the Tommy doesn't know what day it is. And he even throws a scream there, yeah, later on. I think the song is trying to show how two-faced the parents are, that they're trying, like, it seems like they're concerned about his soul, and it's like, how is he going to be saved? But they abandon him. Like, literally, like they're sitting by themselves thinking, how is our son going to be saved? And they literally just left him alone to play his pinball game. Like, I think it's trying to show how two-faced they are, because, what he says in his head, see me, feel me, he wants his parents to be there, and his parents seem like they're caring about him. They're like, it's Christmas, but like Tommy's not able to hear what Christmas is about. But they literally abandoned him there. They just leave him to play his little pinball game there. I think that's kind of the point of this song, is that like kind of the two-facedness of the parents there, and they're not the only ones who are. When you hear this story, nobody in this story is really a good person. Everyone in this story is messed up.
No, who's helping Tommy? Nobody.
Like even Tommy, I think the point is that like Tommy gets reprimanded for trying to play God at the end. I think that's kind of the point of Tommy's character, because Pete Townsend was trying to do like a spiritual search for spiritualness or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
But the whole story is like everyone's a bad person, and everybody like learns something from. Some of the people don't even learn from their mistakes. It's like, what is the point of this story? Well, I'll get to it. I think I know the point of this story. I'll save it for the end of the video, because I think I know the point of this story is. Okay. But anyway, this song is super catchy, and once again, Keith Moon's drumming is just on point on this one.
I love this song too. It's one of my favorites on the album. But one of the weirdest things is the track listing. That's one of the weirdest things on the album. I'll talk about it here. After Eyesight to the Blind, I think the next song should be Acid Queen. You know, you introduce her, bring her in. You know, I don't know why you have two songs that have nothing to do with her. Then you get her introduction song. I mean, technically that's the introduction song, and then you get her song. But it never made sense to me that they had Christmas and Cousin Kevin like after Eyesight to the Blind. Again, it's just minor nitpicking, and it's more the reason why this album wouldn't be my favorite Who album. Then there's a couple of other reasons, but that's the first like track listing. First of, I say two of track list conundrums on this album.
I know the other one.
There's another one that makes me go, what's this track listing? Did they not go for the album? But we'll get there. It's weird. Well, actually, if it's the one you think, if it's the one I think you think
I think there's three, because there's another one that's out of order too.
Yeah, but this other one that makes me go, you go from this to something completely different. But that one's like the biggest head scratcher. But yeah, there's a third one, but the second one is the one I really want to talk about. But we'll get there. But I love the two. There's like, it's like you get two parts of the song. You get the buns of it, then you get the cheese, you get the burger in the middle with the Tommy, can you hear me? Tommy, can you hear me? Can you hear me? How can you be safe? See me, feel me, touch me. You know, I love that part.
Yeah.
And the Christmas part is great too. You know, waking up on Christmas morning. You know, that's great. You know, makes you think about Christmas. You know, this is like the best. It's like both a really good Christmas song, but at the same time, it's a really bad Christmas song because good Christmas, but at the same time, you know, it's not something
a little sad. Yeah,
it's not something that I would want to put on the Christmas playlist. You know, on Christmas.
Oh, there's a song called Christmas.
You know, you got Sleigh Ride, Blue Christmas, Frosty the Snowman, Christmas by the Who.
This is what we're gonna do for Christmas caroling. Tommy, can you hear me?
That'd be awesome.
I just imagine
just like knock on someone's door. Did you see the children's faces? They look so excited. Oh.
Or like at a church, you know, you have like the lead person. you have the lead person.
Wait a minute.
You have to like the lead person going, Tommy, can you hear me? It's like you have like everyone going.
The soloist.
You were like, who's Tommy?
Feel me.
This should be about Jesus. What is going on?
Touch me. With the organ in the background. See me. Feel me.
Touch me, hear me.
It's a good song though. Again, it's weird though the way this album's formatted. I think it's a really weird way to open up the second side of the album personally. But again, it's not going to affect my score. It's just a small nitpick. Well, we go into the first of two John Entwistle songs, Cousin Kevin. This is about his well, let's just say not so nice cousin. What do we think about this one?
Yeah, this is where we start seeing him get abused pretty badly because of his ailments or his disabilities. And yeah, wow, this is such a beautiful melody for such a terrible thing that's happening. I'm like, you're listening, going, "Wow, this is so beautiful." But then the lyrics here, you're like, "This is so terrible and disturbing," in a sense, you know. But man, I do love it. Like, just the "What would I do?" or "What would you do if I turned on the bath?" Something like that. Stuck your head in and started to laugh. It's like, wow, what an amazing melody, vocally, everything. I'm like, it's really nice. I think it's a super catchy song that I absolutely, yeah, really get into. And then you get the I'm the school bully, the bum 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 bum. Like that part's really cool. Yeah, overall, it's like, yeah, another amazing song, I think, in a row on this album. At least, yeah. And again, great drumming. Drumming's amazing.
Yeah, so this is the first of a few Entwistle songs on the album. I think that the story goes that Townshend had Entwistle write the two most messed up songs on the album because he didn't
Yeah.
want to. He was like,
Yeah.
he's like, these are the subjects I want it to be about, but like because they're so messed up, I'm gonna have to make John write about it because I don't want to write a song about that. And this is one of them. Man, the guitar at the beginning, down 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 down. We're on our own, cousin. The character reminds me of Buzz from Home Alone. It does.
Yeah.
That's who I imagine is like Buzz from Home Alone when I hear this. Just because of how just like messed up this kid is. Like he's pretty much like, all the parents are in the other room talking, and so like I've been left to play with you, so like I'm gonna basically torture you is basically what this song is. And he like puts his head in the snow and puts a cigarette burn on his arm or something and puts his head in the bath or something like that. And it's like, this kid is messed up.
Oh,
but then you hear the music and you're like, why am I vibing to this song so much? Because it's such terrible things he's doing. But I am the school bully. Wow, the backing vocals are so good. And then you get to the part with the like Jason was saying, the what would you do if I left you outside, or whatever it is. You get to that part and it's just so intense. That part is so intense. And it's just like, man, song is just making me feel things.
It makes me feel bad, yeah.
It makes me feel terrible, but great at the same time. It's like I feel terrible for him, but like the music is just so triumphant at that part. Yeah. It's like, why did you have to do it like that? It's like I'm enjoying the song way more than I should because it's terrible what's going on, but like the music is just so good here.
That's my boy Entwistle for you. I mean, you could say that about a lot of his other songs, like Boris the Spider, Whiskey Man. Like these are like messed up songs, but like, they're so catchy. They're so like they hook you in. That's all about Entwistle songs. They like even My Life on the next album. Like it's such a messed up song, but it's so catchy, man. You can't. It's so catchy. You can't. That's what I love about Entwistle. He makes like some of the catchiest songs. Like I know you're gonna disagree with me on this, Jason, but Someone's Coming on the Magic Bus album. That's a catchy song. Like these are like weird songs, but at the same time, it makes them catchy enough that makes me love them at the same time. Well, there's another song by him that we'll unfortunately talk about, but this one's good though. This is a really good song.
Yeah, of the two Entwistle songs, this is the good one.
You guys are free to do just the top 5, but since this is a double album, I'm gonna do a top 10. Because there are a lot of great songs on here, so doing just the top 5 doesn't do justice on it. Anyways, though, the Acid Queen. What do we think about the Acid Queen? So we have the eyesight to the blind. We describe her. Now we're actually gonna get to the part of the story where we actually get the Acid Queen. What do we think about it, though?
Yeah, definitely another very memorable song on the album. I think very somewhat well known. It feels like I don't know if this could have been like a single. I feel like. And was it Tina Turner? Someone sings in the movie. You know, it's kind of a memorable part. Very catchy, I think. Again, it sounds like the parents were horrible people. Take him to this acid queen, whatever. And I don't know if he's doing drugs, if she's a prostitute. Some bad stuff's happening that shouldn't be happening to poor old Tommy. But yeah, it's a really good song. I'm the acid queens, pay before you start. Something else tear your soul apart. It's like, jeez, I feel so bad for Tommy at this point, but it's a good song.
Yeah, we get to the part in the story where the parents are trying to cure his quote-unquote ailment. And what could help a young kid better than drugs? Because it's the 60s. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is when the story starts getting weird. Up until this point, the story is fine. It's just like, something happened to this kid, and like they're worried about the kid, but it seems like the parents are a little, out of it. The cousin is mean. It's like, okay, well, when's the weird stuff? This is where the weird stuff happens. Is like, we could cure him with drugs, give him some acid, man, the 60s were a weird time. But the song itself is really good. And Pete Townsend kind of like puts on like a character to play the character of the Acid Queen. Good performance vocally, and works really well. I think this works well. Like, this would have worked better as the album side closer, instead of what actually comes after it. But we'll talk more about why I'm not as big on that song when we get to that one.
I love the song. It's very catchy. If your boy's not a boy anymore, this girl could put him right. It's like, I love the part where he goes really into. I get like, I don't know why, for some reason, like I can imagine Sinatra singing like that. Like, I know Sinatra likes to go a little over the top sometimes, which I like. That's like what I like about Sinatra. He puts emotion to his voice. That's why I imagine like the way Townsend does the gypsy queen. It's awesome though. It's another song that I'm like, this is catchy. This is like. But it's so messed up, though.
It's messed up.
She's putting him through drugs. Like, she's like, she's pretty much essentially, I'm about to drug your boy up. You okay with that? And they're like, okay,
sure. With that?
He can't do anything because he can't see or hear or talk.
Yeah. You fine with him, with me putting him on drugs? Yeah, whatever. The typical parenting style. But it's a fun song though. I think Townsend. It sounds like Townsend's having a good time singing this one. You can definitely tell he's having a good time on it. But yep, really, really good one. But we get to the next song on the album. Not even a song; it's an instrumental. The 10-minute instrumental to finish off the first disc of the album, Underture. What do we think about this one? I'm pretty confident this is gonna be a shorter review.
Yeah, another instrumental. To be honest, I think it's a little too long. It's 10 minutes long. I do get a little bored through this one, and I kind of would rather just skip it if I'm listening to the album normally. I prefer the overture if I'm going to listen to an instrumental, but...
Yeah, here's the thing. This instrumental does not do a single thing that Sparks hasn't already done. Like, it just plays the same thing from Sparks over and over and over and over again. And it never deviates at all. This is supposed to be like the drug trip after he takes the acid.
Okay.
So I guess it was a bad trip because this is very boring. And I like long instrumentals. That just shows how boring this is, because it's the same segment from Sparks over and over and over again for 10 minutes. And it's like, just make it stop. It's almost like being on drugs. It's like, make it stop. Make it stop. I mean, I do like the payoff at the end where you get that gong that like ominously ends the first half of the album. That's really cool. But that is literally the only thing I like about this song. Like, if I'm listening to this album, I will just skip I honestly am going straight to Pinball Wizard after Acid Queen, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, this is an interesting track because if you condense this to like if this was like Overture where it's like 5 minutes, like you open up the disc with a 5-minute instrumental and close it out on a 5-minute instrumental, that would be perfectly fine. I would love it. 11 minutes though?
Or they 10? Never played this live either. This is one of the songs that they didn't do live when they played the whole album.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
This song screams, we need something to fill the remaining part of our album with. Let's just do that Sparks song again and jam to it for a bit.
It gives me Grateful Dead vibes, but for all the wrong reasons. Towards in some parts we're just like meandering, jamming. That's like my only complaint. I mean, there are times where I could get through it and enjoy it quite fine, but it gets to a point though where I'm like, come on, really? This is how you end the disc? I'm like, whoa. I'm just like, wow. But yeah, I mean, I guess even the Who even thought themselves like, yeah, this is not one of our best works. Let's pretend like this never happened, kind of things. It sucks too, because after Acid Queen, you get hyped up. You're like, yeah, the Acid Queen, like the way Townsend's thinking, you're hyped up, and then you get to like this kind of slow instrumental. You're like, really? This is the last song on the first disc of the album? And then you're like, I hope it gets better from here. And well, let's get into the next 2 songs on the album. Actually, you know what? Let's just clump the 3 because they're all. I mean, yeah, just do the first 2 because I don't want these 2 songs anywhere near Pinball Wizard. If you guys are okay with that,
no.
All right, so the first 2 songs on disc 2, and I'll give my thoughts on it. Actually, I'll give it now. But do you think it's all right? And Fiddle About. My biggest problem, and you know what? I'll normally I let Jason and Scott do the reviewing first, and I'll be the last person. I want to review these 2 songs first because I have things that come off my chest.
Okay.
Why are these the first 2 songs on the second disc? Why are these the first 2 songs on the second disc? First off, do you think it's all right? No, it's not all right. This guy is a pedophile. Why are you letting this pedophile take over? And 2, Fiddle About. I love you, John. I really love you. You are the greatest bass player of all time. And it sucks for me to say this because I know you weren't the one who came up with this song. I know it's Townsend who gave you the assignment of doing this, but this is the worst song you've ever written. This is the worst song you've ever written. It sucks. It's garbage. This is the only song on the album where I say, you know what, this is awful. Again, it won't affect the score of my album because this is a double album, so it's
less than 3 minutes too. But
yeah, both these songs are less than 3 minutes, and not only that, but I gave Revolution 9. I mean, I gave the White Album a 10 with Revolution 9 on it. I'll give this album a 10 with Fiddle About on it, and it's a lot shorter than Revolution 9. But I gotta say though, why are these the 2 first songs on the album on the second disc, and why does Pinball Wizard fall right after this? You get like the darkest song. You get the most fucked up,
the worst and best song.
You get the most fucked up song on the album, and then hey, you can play pinball. It's like the first 2 songs is like he's getting molested badly, and then the next song's like, yeah, you can play pinball. Like, we gotta talk about the first 2. What are we?
If they'd have put Pinball Wizard right after Acid Queen, you're already hyped up. That'll hype you up even more.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like
maybe make that the album closer to side 2. Actually, no, I like it on side 3. They should have just completely took these 2 songs off the album.
That's what I mean. Like you take those 2 songs out. You have Pinball Wizard following up Acid Queen.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
You have like the 2 most messed up songs on the album. Oh yeah, you can play pinball. Like you know the Chocolate Factory, the original, where they go through this tunnel.
Yeah.
They're like right after, they don't talk about it at all. They're not like, That's what
all of a sudden it's like Everlasting Gobstoppers. We just forgot about this messed up tunnel we just went through.
Exactly.
Why are we talking about the tunnel?
Fiddle About is the tunnel scene of this album, because it's fucked up, messed up, and besides the second last track, Tommy's Holiday Camp, they don't talk about it at all, which is weird. Why even bring it up in the first place if you're not even gonna talk about it? Like the first two songs is like, yeah, let's get into this really fucked up part of this album, and then you can play pinball and let's show off his pinball skills. Which we'll talk about Pinball Wizard, but that has to be the biggest head scratcher of this album. Yes. It's those first two songs, proceeding to Pinball Wizard. Townsend, I love you. This album is amazing. This is like a top 30 album for me. Like probably top 25 album for me. This album, well, maybe top 50, but you get the point. I love this album to death, but why? Why are these the first two songs on the album? I mean, on the second disc of the album. It has always been a head scratcher for me. It will always be a head scratcher for me. It makes no sense to me. But anyways, my ranting aside, Jason and Scott, what do you guys think about these first two tracks?
Well, when I first heard this album at age 13 and I got to this part, it disturbed me to a point. It really bothered me. I remember when I first heard it, I was really, really bothered by it. I mean, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like, oh my God. Like, I probably maybe wasn't ready for such dark thoughts to get into my mind at that age. And now that I think about it, I probably should have listened to this album at age 13. I don't know. I don't know. It just, grossed me out so badly. And I hated it so much. And it's definitely the part I skip every time I listen to this album. I skip this part. I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to accept that this is a part of the album. I think it's atrocious. I don't know.
Yeah, this 2-song run goes the way of Mother on Synchronicity. I will never skip songs on albums other than Mother on Synchronicity and this song on Tommy. Those are the only two tracks that I ever will skip every time. Because it just Mother on Synchronicity, just because it's bad musically, but this is messed up. And it's like a certain song by Nirvana. I get what he's trying to do with it. He's trying to bring light to a situation. I think something like this happened to him, and he's basically saying yeah, it's terrible, and you feel like, no, I don't ever want to talk about that, but if no one ever talks about it, then nothing's ever going to be done to help that, is kind of what he's saying with this song. And so he's kind of saying hey, let's talk about this so that we can get something done, because it's a messed up situation and we don't want any more of this to happen. But at the same time, what the heck is this doing on this album? It just comes out of left field. Yeah, his cousin bullying him, that fits with the story. That makes sense. This, it's what? It doesn't even fit really tonally with the rest of the album. They have the uncle come back at the end, but it's just they're torturing him for doing all the bad stuff and making him sing and dance at the camp. It's just punishing him for what he did. But that's not even a good payoff. He should be going to jail. He shouldn't be just singing and dancing at the camp. He should be going to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good song. Not a good song. And like Nick said, having Pinball Wizard come right after this, you're in such a weird mood. You're like, what did I just hear? Oh, it's Pinball Wizard. You're like, I don't know if I want to hear Pinball Wizard right now. I'm not in a good mood.
I'm not in a good mood.
Exactly. You just experience the most fucked up song on the album, and then Pinball Wizard. You're just like, what? Now you're gonna play Pinball Wizard? I think that ship has sailed now, guys.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm in a Pinball Wizard mood anymore, guys.
Is he trying to win you back from like it's like, if you wanted to turn the album off because of this terrible song, here's Pinball Wizard to get your attention back.
Maybe that's the reason.
That's the only conceivable reason that you do that, because terrible album sequencing, like this song just should not be on this album. If you wanted to bring light to that, you should have done, like, I don't know, write a book or something. I don't know, but don't ruin the album with this messed up part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Now let's get to the next song on the album, Pinball Wizard. let's talk about the next song now, Pinball Wizard. Let's forget it. Let's act like the main characters and forget like the last song never happened.
The Willy Wonka tunnel scene.
Yes. Now we're on the tunnel.
We do. Oh, Everlasting Gobstoppers.
Let's play pinball.
Let's play pinball.
Forget what happened.
Forget about the molesting. Let's talk about the pinball.
Let's forget about all that. Let's just play pinball. Have some fun. Yeah. This is the big song. I don't know if this was a single, if there were singles coming off this album, but
this song was this was the single. Well, there was a couple.
Okay.
Singles. This was the lead off single.
Okay, it definitely should be. It's definitely the song on the album that really is known, and I guess I've made no secret. This is my favorite song on the album, and it's a top 5 favorite Who song of all time. I think it is amazing, catchy. That intro is so good. The slow acoustic guitar playing with the bum bum, and then and it goes into this really super fast, crazy fast strumming. I love it. It just sets it off. And then, of course, when you get the, like that stuff, and you're like, what the heck is that? That's such a cool sound. And the bass playing is amazing. And then, and then Daughtry gets right in there. He's singing from somebody, a new character who, is a good pinball player, but singing about this Tommy guy. I just can't touch this guy, and I'm the best. I was the best pinball player, and this guy comes in. And anyway, so it's kind of cool that comes from this other character, talking about Tommy, and But yeah, when ever since I seen something, he played the. Oh my gosh! Right when he gets into there, it's like, oh man, what amazing melody to come in, and then he's a pinball wizard. Such a catchy chorus there. I give my crown to him. How does he do it? I don't know. It's so good that give that just that little section where they're kind of giving what do you call that kind of response, and then it goes right back into how does he play? He's deaf, dumb, and blind, yet how is he playing so good at pinball?
Plays by sense of smell.
Plays by sense of smell. Yeah, it's such a cool idea, and I know Townsend, when he wrote this, he didn't have this idea at the beginning that he was going to be playing pinball, and he was trying to think of something. I don't remember what his original idea was now, but I know he had some idea or something like that. And then he was talking to somebody, and someone gave him the idea about pinball. Like, what if he played pinball? I think, and that kind of sparked this idea. Like, oh, what a cool idea! This guy. If you're deaf, you should. If you're blind, you shouldn't be able to play pinball. It makes no sense, and that goes to the fact that he's not really blind. It's just a mental block in his head that happens, and so that kind of seems to go towards maybe there's something else going on here than him being deaf, dumb, and blind, because this doesn't make any sense that he's so good at pinball. So it is a cool story moment, and just an awesome song.
The intro to this, so good, with the acoustic guitar. Boom, 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 and the electric guitar. And then the vocals come in. Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. I'm so hold down to Brighton. I must have played them all. I ain't seen nothing like him in any amusement hall. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pin. Ba 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 ba. Da 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 da. Oh, the chords on there are so good, and then you get the chorus. He's a pinball wizard. It's got to be a twist. So catchy, and I like what Jason was talking about, where they have the section where they trade off, where it's just like, how do you think he does it? I don't know what makes him so good. Yeah, it just kind of rocks out there at the end. It's not a very long song, actually. It's kind of one of the shorter songs here, but it's one of the most memorable ones. A, because of that intro, with B, just like they just rock out for a little bit. And I guess kind of just the absurd story of this kid who can't see, he can't hear, he can't like talk, but yet he's like the best pinball player around. And he takes away apparently there's like a pinball championship or something that he beats like the former champion at.
Yeah.
Because he says like I handed my pinball crown to him or whatever, and then like he has like people following him around who lead him in when it's time for him to come in and play. Like just the world building of this song as well. Like even if you take it out of the context of the album, it's still a good story. It's a lot. I'll tell you, it's a lot weirder of a story when you take it out of the context of the album. I remember one time in college driving around, and one of my roommates who lived in my apartments played Pinball Wizard. And I told him that there was a whole album, and he was like, "What? I thought this was just a story about a." I was like, I always thought it was weird that it was about a kid who's deaf, dumb, and blind kid who sure plays a mean pinball. You're telling me there's a whole album? There's a whole album about this? But yeah, no, it's a really good song.
Yeah, I mean, this is the big song, like Jason said, for a good reason. It's catchy. You know, that's a lot better than the last song. That's all I gotta say.
Way better.
Yeah, the great guitar playing. Since I was young, boy, I played it. From so down to training, I must have played them all, but there ain't nothing like it in any hall. That deaf dumb black kid sure plays a mean pinball. Da 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 da. Hot take time, and I'm sure you guys remember my hot take on this. I prefer the Elton John version.
Oh yes, I remember that.
I prefer the Elton John version.
Yeah, you like the Elton John version
on its own, though. Like on its own, I'm gonna listen to the Elton John version. If I'm gonna listen to the album, I'm gonna prefer this version. Like I'm not a fan of it like in the context of the album, you know, or the story per se. But on its own, though, I think Elton has the edge on it slightly. But yeah, but no, this is a great song though. Now we get to the next two songs of the album. We get the very short "There's the Doctor" and "Go to the Mirror." What do we think about these two?
Yeah, and then we get this kind of story element where they found a doctor that they think they can help Tommy, and that's the doctor's just only 20-second like interlude to get to the next song. Kind of definitely another big moment in the album where the doctor sees Tommy and basically kind of says, yeah, there's nothing physically, making him, it's something else, whatever. And of course, there's this whole thing now where we're introduced that he looks at himself in a mirror or something and all this. And I love the guitar riff. I think it has a really great guitar riff in the song that really makes it great. And again, some great elements of different things going on with, Tommy. I think you get the see me, feel me, you get that part again. So you get back to that Tommy kind of almost trying to reach out, but can't say anything, because he's supposed to be, can't talk and all that. And yeah, you get that moment, and then you go to the mirror, boy. Go to the mirror, boy. Like I love that part. Is great, anyways. Yeah, it's another favorite of mine on the album.
Yeah, here's where we get the doctor scene, and the first part is just, it sounds just straight up like a musical. It's just like, there's a doctor I found can cure the boy. A doctor I found can cure the boy. Let's see him tomorrow. That's like all it is. It's like the whole song, and it sounds like something straight out of a musical because the way the piano plays with the vocal melody. But then like the harmonies, it's like, let's see him tomorrow. And it's just like they're really playing into it. But then you get the Doctor's song, and man, this song rocks with that guitar riff. Really good melody on here too with the
It's reflection.
And then it's interesting because that's the verse, but then the chorus is the see me, feel me. You know, that you've heard before on the Christmas song. It's kind of a theme that reoccurs throughout this album. And then you get a bridge section with a new theme that we haven't heard yet. You're going to hear again the listening to you theme.
Listen to you.
I hear the music, gazing at you. I feel the heat following you. I've climbed the mountains, excitement at your feet. That section, that's kind of the bridge section. And then the Doctor says, like, you know, it's all in his mind. And he tells him to look at himself because he sees he's looking at himself in the mirror. He says, go to the mirror, boy. Bow, 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 bow. I love that part. Go to the mirror, boy. And the bass do, 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 when you get to that. And then, like, it's at the end, it's like, you know, I often wonder what he's thinking, you know, like, what is he doing when he's looking at the mirror? Man, I would have loved to have heard them do this live because they probably took it up a notch when they played it live. Oh, and the drum. I didn't even talk about the drums yet. The drums are crazy, too. Yeah, this one's amazing.
Well, I really like I Found a Doctor. That's a great song. Pretty catchy. Go to the Mirror, though. For one, this is my favorite song on the album. This will always be my favorite song on the album. It's just, for one, it's like the most memorable one to me that isn't Pinball Wizard. You know, my favorite part is definitely listening to you. I find the mountains gazing at you. You know, stuff like that. Yeah. But the big reason why it's my favorite on the album, it's why we're doing this video right now. It's why we're here right now, because Scott, he put that on the recommendation of
really.
This was a song that got me and Scott talking.
Yeah.
He recommended this song, and I was like, he knows this song? I'm like, that's
yeah, awesome. And then I was like, what? John Lennon likes the
Yeah. You like the Hollies too? Because that was back when I was really into my Hollies kick. But yeah, we started chatting up on the YouTube, the live stuff on the reactions to the classic, and then we ended up leaking up on Discord, and then leaking up to Messenger, and you know, rest is history pretty much. So, man, it's such a great story how we all met and all that, and all because of this song. Because of this song, it really is.
That's awesome.
So that's why I was so happy to talk about this album in particular, is for this song. You know, our backstory, but yeah, you know, very, very, very happy to be with you guys. Very happy to do this video. Really great song. Now we get to the next song on the album. Tommy, Can You Hear Me?
Yeah, another, you know, they all kind of tie together, I guess, because the big moment kind of happens next, I guess, in the next song. But just Tommy, can you hear me? It's okay. I don't have a lot to say about it, I guess.
This is really making me upset as to why the heck was Uncle Ernie put on this album, because other than Uncle Ernie, everything else on side 3 is the best freaking part of this album. And it's so weird. If you just skip that, like, the rest of side 3 is just the best part of the album. This is good here with the kind of the acoustic with the Tommy, can you hear me? Although it's weird, is it just me, or would I have rather gotten a reprise of the Tommy, Can You Hear Me on that they did with the Christmas song? I kind of wish that they would have made that a full song instead of this. Like, I still like this. It's got a cool chill vibe, but I don't know. Like, I kind of wish that would have been made a full song.
I get that, but at the same time, but I think it would have been weird if like after the end of at the end when it's kind of like at the end of Go to the Mirror, like it kind of opens up like right away with a Tommy, can you hear me? You know, like that would be a weird. I don't know. I think that would be weird. I like the more folksy. Mm. Tommy, can you hear me? You know, I personally I prefer this as like a full song over. I think that works on Christmas, like being a part of Christmas. You know, I get where we're coming from though, but yeah, I think it would have been weird if, you know, at the end of Go to the Mirror, you just get right away with Tommy, can you hear me? Tommy, can you hear me? You know, that would have felt really out of place. But yeah, I enjoyed the song. You know, not one of my favorites on the album, but it's a really nice song, a nice kind of acoustic, folksy song. But yeah, it's pretty good. Now we're gonna go to the next song on the album, "Smash the Mirror," and screw it, we'll transition that into the next song that goes after, which is "Sensation," which ends the third side of the album. What do we think about those two songs?
Yeah, because "Smash the Mirror" is not very long. It just kind of goes into he looks at the mirror or whatever, and I guess they finally figured out. Or it seems like the dad maybe just so upset, you know, like, come on, why don't you talk? You know, like, what if I smash your mirror? You know, what will happen then? You know, kind of like threatening, you know. But then he smashes the mirror, and that really, and then kind of goes into this weird, like, musical moment, which is kind of cool because you kind of can get the feel that, like, oh, he's like waking up for the first time or something, you know, from this traumatic, you know, mental block that he's had for his whole life. All of a sudden, somehow, I don't understand how the mirror. It's kind of a weird thing that's introduced late in the album, and that now he smashes the mirror, it like fixes him for some reason. But you know, whatever. It's kind of a cool moment of like him finally coming to not being deaf, dumb, and blind anymore. And yeah, and it's cool when you get the Sensation. It's him. It's the first time you're really hearing Tommy. I mean, you do hear Tommy with the "Hear Me, See Me, Feel Me," whatever. But this is like, oh wow, this is now Tommy singing. You know, and this idea that all these people are, you know, kind of almost worshiping him because he used to be deaf, dumb, and blind, but now he's cured. You know, and like what's going on here. But I do love the overall melody. I love the horns in here; it's really great. But yeah, so the "I'm a Sensation." Yeah, it's a nice song. Some catchiness to it.
Smash the Mirror first. Smash the Mirror rocks. The drum intro, amazing, and then some of the guitar licks are really good. And then you get like, I love the part where it just goes, "Can you feel my temper rise, 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 rise?" And it's like, how high are they gonna go with this?
Yeah.
And then it's just like, "Do I smash the mirror?" And then it's like, it's like, that's all it took. You don't have to give him drugs.
Why did we do this from the beginning?
Yeah. I don't 100% understand why that fixes him. I think it's because, like,
yeah, why does that fix him?
Like, the only time he ever actually uses his eyes is to look at himself in the mirror, and that's kind of destroying his self-image of himself, I'm guessing. Either that or, like, he saw the murder of his father through a mirror, and so when it breaks the mirror, it undoes his last thing he saw. Something like that. Or like the pinball is a shiny ball, and so it has a mirror in it, and that's why he can see. I'm not 100. Look, this is the first album of its kind. Okay, I'm not expecting it to be perfect. This came out in the late '60s. It doesn't have to be a perfect story. All right, this is a gap in the story. Like, it's a big "what's going on here" moment. But yeah, then we get to Sensation, where Roger Daltrey gets to sing as Tommy, finally getting to actually speak, other than just in his head with the "See Me, Feel Me" thing. And I love the "I'm a sensation." I feel weird though. Why did they not put "I'm free" here?
Yeah.
This is another track listing conundrum. The third one, like as soon as the mirror smashes, I'm expecting I'm free. That sounds a lot like more what you would say if like as soon as you can speak,
Yeah,
like,
that should be first. You're right.
But it's still a great song though.
Yeah. The thing about it for sure is definitely that track listing is definitely off. Like, first off, Smash the Mirror is great. Again, I agree with you. Why not end the third side of the record with "I'm Free"? Why? Why do we have it? And then side 4, start off with "Miracle Cure." That's a good way to start off side 4. Instead of Sally Simpson being the second song, then have "Sensation." Like, hey, extra, extra, it's on the news. I'm a sensation now. And then have Sally Simpson, then have Welcome, then have Tommy's Holiday Camp. Then We're Not Going to Take It. It's weird how they did the track listing on this album. Regardless, though, this is a great song, though. Sensation. It's a great song. I like Townsend's like kind of warbled effects on his vocals at times. It's a great way to close out the third disc, but not a great way to do it because, again, I'm Free was literally on the album. It's literally right there. It's odd. It's an odd choice. Anyways, we flip the record over for the last time, and we get to Miracle Cure that goes into Sally Simpson. What do you think about these two songs?
Yeah, Miracle Cure is just a 15-second kind of, again, interlude, just kind of, I guess, tells you the story. There's a miracle, or that Tommy's become this big, almost spiritual like deal. Everybody, crowds go see him, think something special about him because of all this that's happened to him. And then we get Sally Simpson. So it's telling the story from a girl who has like a crush on Tommy and wants to go see him, So it's kind of interesting to give a different perspective, on what's going on. And overall, it's a decent song. I think pretty good melody, some catchiness to there, where the Sally and him were worlds apart, whatever all that part is really good. Yeah, it tells a story. It's an interesting part. I don't know if it was needed necessarily, but it's an interesting song.
Here's where the story gets really weird. So first off, Miracle Cure, I can literally do a cover of the whole song. Extra, extra, read all about it. A pinball wizard and a miracle cure. Extra. That's the whole song.
That's the whole song.
That's the whole song. Again, there's just this little like interlude, kind of like what you would hear in a musical. But then you get Sally Simpson after that. And yeah, Jason was talking about the story. When I first heard this album, I thought that because he heard music in his brain, he wanted to be a musician, and finally getting to see, hear, and speak, he became a rock star.
That makes sense.
I would have much rather that have been how the story went, because that would have been a lot more interesting, that he became a musician and then found out that fame wasn't all that. That would have been a much better end to this album. I would have thought that'd been a lot more interesting. Instead, we get where he's like a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Because all the people are like following him around, it almost starts like this cult. And it's like, what? What's going on with this? And this girl, like, because he's becoming popular, like, has a crush on him and goes to see him, and then like she tries to jump on the stage, but then the police officer pulls her down, and like she scratches her face on a chair and still has like a scar to remember the story. I think the storytelling is interesting and the songwriting is really good. I will say, just like the story on side 4 is just where it kind of starts losing me. It's like, Uncle Ernie notwithstanding, the rest of the story I've been tracking too up to this point. There's been a few plot holes, but when you get to this point in the story, it's just like, how much drugs were you on when you wrote this?
Yeah. Miracle Cure, it's okay. Obviously I'm not going to rank the song anywhere near on this album. It's literally just Miracle Cure. Sally Simpson, though, I love that song. It's a very catchy song. I think it's really underrated compared to the other songs on the album. Outside, this is like one of Daltrey's best vocal performances. I think he really kills it vocally. I like the part at the end where he goes, "Ooh," I don't know. for some reason, I got a good kick out of it. Ooh, like I don't know. I don't know if like he did it on purpose or I don't know. For some odd reason, I think it's a funny part of the song. Anyways, though, I love this song. It's such a good song. Again, it's catchy. I love the chorus. You knew from the pop, Sally and Tommy were worlds apart. But you be not for me. You know, I love that. It's like catchy, memorable, really good stuff. Yeah, I personally really enjoy it. Now we get to the song that I don't think anywhere near belongs at this part of the album. I'm Free. What do you think about I'm Free?
Yeah, why is it? Yeah, Sally Simpson. Then I'm free. And it's like, yeah, we know that you've
been free.
I thought you've been free. Now I'm free. Like, yeah, I did think that was a little confusing. Best part of the song is a guitar riff, a great guitar riff on the song. Overall, it's a decent song. Yeah, I'm free. For you to follow me. Yeah, it's not my top 5, but it's a good song.
I think this was the other single released from this album, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this was. I forgot what the B-side was, but I know this was a single.
The guitar riff is really good. The no 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 no. I'm free. I'm free. Yeah, that's a really good part. And then I like at the end where like it's got like the backing vocals. It's like, don't we follow? You know, and it's just kind of going down there, and then you get like a Pinball Wizard reprise. It's just like like they don't like sing any of it, but it's like musically kind of a reprise of Pinball Wizard at that point. But yeah, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah. I think this is a great song. Definitely memorable. I love the chorus, especially I'm free. The freedom taste of reality. But again, this would have been a perfect way to close out the third side with the ooh, you know, the way it ends. It's weird. It's weird. This is a weird album. Again, like Scott was said, there's definitely drugs involved. Like, it's weird. But it's a weird that I love though. Like this is weird, but this is, you know what? This is the Who. This is my kind of weird, you know. I should have liked this, but I love it though at the same time. But anyways, we get to the next song on the album, Welcome.
Yeah, this is more into him kind of being this cult leader, I think, and he's welcome to his house and into my house, whatever. I don't have a lot to say. It's just okay.
Yeah, so now we get like where he's like welcoming people into his house. Like people are following him around and like stalking him, and he's like letting them in his house. It's like, come to my house, into my house. And then there's like, dude, excuse me, sir, there's more at the door. 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 There's more. Yeah. I don't know why, but that's my favorite part of the song.
Oh, I could tell.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, welcome. And you're like, what? Yeah, because like there's this ominous piano chord, and it just goes, welcome. And you're like, that doesn't sound very welcoming. That sounds like you're going into a haunted house or something.
I could see it.
Like, very, very ominous.
I love this song, though, even though it gets weird at the end, but I love the little come to my house, see all the wonderful people. Yeah, I agree with the more at the door part. Of course, when I think about that now, I think about Scott welcoming me and Briar in for the first Who ranking.
Yep.
There's more at the door. There's more at the door. I immediately think of that, and I just can't help. Like every time I listen to the song now, I think about that video. Well, videos now. Well, it's gonna be a third video now because we're gonna do it again on Scott's channel. So we're going.
They took the audio option off the free one, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play that.
No.
Maybe I can do a free trial.
I hope so. That would suck if we don't. Man, screw you, StreamYard. The foil sucked. Damn. What? I'm mad. But anyways, that's a great song though, and yeah, it's one of my favorites on the album personally. I've always really enjoyed it. Anyways, we get to the last. Well, you can say what's the last 3 songs on the album. Tommy's Holiday Camp, We're Not Gonna Take It, and See Me, Feel Me. What do we think about these last 3 songs?
Well, Tommy's Holiday Camp is the second worst song I think on the album. And because Uncle Ernie comes back and he can't sing a lick. And I think that's on purpose. They purposely made it a terrible sounding song. And it is so annoying. It's another one I have to skip because, oh my gosh, the notes that he hits on this, it's so bad. So forever, he like purposely hits the worst note ever. And anyways, I don't know. I'm like, why is this here? Like, whatever. I know Scott probably has, some idea of like why. Like I said, he should be in jail, but here he's like running this camp. Then the closer, We're Not Gonna Take It. I mean, this is such an iconic song for sure. This is definitely the song that you think about a lot. You know, him kind of with this, where he's gonna make other people deaf, dumb, and blind to kind of follow his lead, as this kind of cult leader of this, of all this. And then you get the whisper. I love you get the whisper first. We're not gonna take it. Boom, 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 boom. We're not gonna. So it's like there's this whispering in the crowd. Like, wait a minute. Wait, I don't think we want it. We want this. I don't think we want to be part of this anymore. It's like the crowd slowly turning against Tommy. It's interesting. And then they go into we're not gonna take it. Never did and never will. Don't describe to your religion or something like that. Bum, bum, da, da. Yeah, that whole part is so great. I mean, that's a great. That whole section is one of the best parts of the album, I think. And then they turn against Tommy, which is not exactly a happy ending to the story. I feel like it's like it's a weird ending to it, but they basically turn against him, and we're gonna something forget you better still, and all this. Like they're gonna like almost kill him or something. And then it goes into Tommy's "Feel Me, Hear Me, Touch Me," that whole part. So it goes back to him going back into his inner self of like, what he was before, I guess it kind of represents. But it's cool that you bring back that theme because it's such a great theme, of course. And it's maybe the most iconic moment in the album. And I can, it's a big part of Woodstock. He does this at Woodstock, and it's like a really cool moment at Woodstock. And anytime there's another concert I've seen him kind of do this too, this whole "Feel Me, Heal Me," moment. Yeah, it's great, and it's like 7 minutes. It's a long song, but it has a lot of great, different themes and different parts and melodies to it. Yeah, it's a great ending musically, not story wise, but musically, I think. good stuff here.
Yeah, Tommy's Holiday Camp first. What the heck? Pete Townsend is like purposefully singing terribly just to make you just hate the character even more. But like, I tend to think that this is his punishment.
Yeah, that's right.
I can just imagine him with like a ball and chain on doing this. But at the same time, like he should be like in jail right now. So like, why did he come back? Yeah, very annoying, and I hate the end where it's just like, welcome. Like it's like that's even creepier than the first time you did it. But then the next part, we're not gonna take it. I love the riff. And then you get to where he's like, you know, welcome to my camp. I've just kind of become aware. And then it's like, you know, the secret to happiness is you need to be deaf, dumb, and blind yourself. So you're gonna wear these dark sunglasses, put your earplugs in, and put a cork in your mouth. And everybody is like, we like what are we gotten ourselves into? And then it gets even weirder because it's like you're also gonna get your very own pinball machine, and guess who's gonna show you over to your own pinball machine? It's like and so it's like, yeah, no, we're gonna just like leave you in the dust. And so he gets upset, and then you get the famous ending with the See Me Feel Me, which is such an amazing way to end the record. Like just the way he sings it, he has just such emotion in his voice there, especially when he starts out there. And that was kind of the big moment at Woodstock, is whenever he did that part, because they kind of did that right when the sun was coming up, and kind of a big moment in music history. But then after that, you get the Listening to You part again, and they just kind of play that over and over again until the album fades out. And it's like, you know, this album didn't have a very satisfying end story-wise, but musically it had the most satisfying ending it possibly could have had. So I can take not having a satisfying story in, because I wasn't that invested in this story to begin with.
First off, the third last song, Tommy's Holiday Camp, it's there. It's written by Keith Moon and sung by Townsend. Now let's talk about the last two songs. We're not going to take it. Yeah, it's a great kind of anthem sounding song. It's a great album closer, but See Me, Feel Me, I could see why they made this a single. To me, it's one of the best songs on the album. It's really good, especially the reprise of Listening to You. Yeah. I get the music following you. I get the heat right behind you. I get the music. Bum, 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 bum. Great album closer. Like you guys said, it's not a fun album closer story-wise, but man, is it a badass way to close out the album. And it's funny too. See Me, Feel Me is the album closer, but yet it is the single, the A side, and then we get the B side, which is the overture. Very interesting, right? I always thought that was pretty interesting, but yeah, what a great last song. And
ready to get my thoughts on the story and what I think this is about?
Yes, let's hear it.
Okay, because you hear this weird story and you're like, what the heck is this about? I think that this is secretly Pete Townsend's autobiography. That the character of Tommy is kind of supposed to be him. He was made fun of and bullied when he was a kid. He felt like an outcast, and that people were only following him around because of his ability, which Tommy's ability is pinball. His ability was he could write songs. So he feels like, you know, I kind of feel like an outcast, and all these people are following me as soon as I figure out that I can, you know, not play pinball, but that I'm a good songwriter. And so it's kind of like, do people really like me, or do they just like my ability? And going through some other things, I think, correlate to his actual life as well, including Uncle Ernie, terribly. But that's kind of what I feel this album is him trying to process things that happened in his own life vicariously through the characters in the story.
That's actually a pretty good summary of it. I never thought of it that way, but it puts the album into a new perspective I never thought of. Interesting. Anyways, again, if you have a top 10, you give me your top 10. I'm gonna give a top 10, but you have top 5, give me your top 5.
I put together a top 5, I guess. Number 5, I'm gonna go with Eyesight to the Blind. Number 4, I'm gonna go with We're Not Gonna Take It. Number 3, Go to the Mirror. 2, Christmas, and 1, Pinball Wizard.
I have my top 3, but I need 2 more. Let's see. Yeah, I'll put that at 4. I just need a 5 now. Okay. I think we got it. Okay, I'm going to go with number 5 as Christmas. Number 4, we're going to go with We're Not Gonna Take It / See Me Feel Me. Number 3, we'll go with The Overture. Number 2, Pinball Wizard. And number 1, Go to the Mirror Boy.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to best to worst. Number 1, Go to the Mirror. Number 2, See Me, Feel Me. Number 3, Acid Queen. Number 4, Pinball Wizard. Number 5, Overture. Number 6, Sally Simpson. I think that song is so underrated. Number 7, I'm Free. Number 8, Welcome. Number 9, I'm going to go with Cousin Kevin. And number 10, Christmas. What are we going to rate this album?
Yeah, it's so hard to rate this album because I go back and forth, but I kind of just settle on a 9 out of 10. Man, I almost want to give that 10, but I think what's holding me back is the underture into Do You Think It's All Right and Feel About. It's just the worst part of the album for me, and I don't know. I just really don't like that section or that 3-song section, I guess. Kind of, I think if you take those 3 out, take Tommy's Holiday Camp out of here, it's a 10 out of 10, I think, for sure. I don't know, but that stuff kind of ruins it a little bit for me, I think. It's a little long. I almost wish it was it's a double album, I know, but it's like, I almost wish, again, if you took Underture out, that would help a lot, because that's like 10 minutes of the album. I think, so take some of that stuff out, shorten up a little bit, I think it would be great. The story, again, I wish it had a better ending to it. And Scott maybe came up with maybe a better ending, is that he becomes like a rock musician or something. And if that's the way it ended, I think I would like the story. But the fact that it's like you feel sorry for Tommy, and then he becomes like the villain of the story somehow at the end. Like what's going on? And then they just kind of turn against him, and that's it. It's like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen to Tommy. There's really no satisfied. Anyways, so I mean, I know maybe I shouldn't think too much about the story, but it's hard not to when you listen to the album. I don't know. So there's just a couple things there. Just I can't quite go to that 10 out of 10 though. The Amazing Journey to Acid Queen is so good. That section is amazing, and that's why it doesn't even have Pinball Wizard in it. And then you have Pinball Wizard and Go to the Mirror. That's amazing later on in the album, but yeah, it's an experience, I think, listening to this album.
This album is a masterpiece. That being said, it is a flawed masterpiece. I'm still giving it a 10 out of 10 though. Like there's such good stuff on this album that I can overlook some of the stuff I don't like about it. Like as long as you skip Uncle Ernie, I can overlook the rest of the bad stuff on the album, like the too long overture. even just some of the what the heck, it's the 60s story elements. But just take Uncle Ernie out. 10 out of 10 still, though.
For me, it's kind of like the White Album, where there's just so much great stuff on this album where it's kind of hard to let the bad stuff weigh in. I'll tell you this, there's like 18 there's 24 songs technically on the album listed on.
Yeah.
I know there's the combined stuff, blah, blah, blah on the record, but on iTunes, 24. Of those 24, I'd say there's 18 like really great stuff. And then there's 2 stuff that I'm like, it's okay. Nothing I'll return to.
I don't know. Do you think it's all right?
Do you think it's all right? And then there's 4 songs where I'm just like, we could have went without this. Tommy's Holiday Camp, Fiddle About, Do You Think It's All Right, and Underture. We could have done without those 4 tracks. Having that said, if I'm going to give the White Album a 10 for having Revolution 9 and Why Don't We Do It the Road, you better believe I'm giving this album a 10 out of 10
okay.
With songs I don't think is half as worse as those 2 songs. So, yes, I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. So, we're back to the 10s for The Who. But anyways, guys have any final thoughts before we close out for the night?
I mean,
I don't think this should be your first Who album, but it's definitely one you need to listen to.
I wonder who's next.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I wouldn't say unfortunately, but this was my first Who album, and
me too.
It's an interesting first Who album, but yeah, who's next? That's your first Who album, I recommend. Which that's the next time we're going to be reviewing. Yes, we're
get to the big one.
Won't get fooled again. Scream.
One thing I will add. There will be a lot of bonus tracks on Who's Next.
The Lifehouse stuff.
There's a lot of singles too. That was released around that time.
Oh yeah, The Seeker.
Join Together, Baby Don't You Do It, Relay, Wasp. Like you said, The Seeker. There's a lot of bonus tracks I would like you guys to listen to for the album because there's a lot of interesting stuff. I don't even know myself the B-side to Won't Get Fooled Again. Let's See Action. When I Was a Boy. There's gonna be a lot to cover for that. I mean, it's gonna be like my generation where we're probably just gonna briefly go over the non-album stuff. Because there is a lot of stuff to cover for that. Quadrophenia, believe it or not, besides Water, which, you know what? Water's part of the Who's Next bonus track, so we'll probably cover that because, again, Quadrophenia is a double album. So we'll go over all the bonus tracks for that album, and then Quadrophenia, kind of like Tommy, there won't be any bonus stuff. But anyways, this album this review is almost 2 hours. I mean, we went way over the original album, which is like an hour and like 15 minutes. So we went over the album. That's how. I mean, I have a lot. It's a double album, and I had a lot to say about a lot of this stuff because I'm very passionate about this album. Again, one thing I got to preface enough. Even though the score wasn't affected, I can't have this as my favorite Who album. 1, track listing problems. 2, some songs that didn't need to be on the album. And 3, it just happens to be better Who albums, in my opinion. That's what it all comes down to. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy this video. If you're a Who fan, please subscribe. We've been tackling the Who very much. And go check out Scott and Jason's channel, please. Scott Salad Studio and Jason Yo Millennial. They make some incredible videos, underrated videos that I think should get a lot more attention. I'm not trying to be biased or trying to kiss ass, being honest. But go check out their videos. I just recorded The Stranger with Scott on his channel, Billy Joel. Stranger. So check his channel out. Check both their channels out. I got to do that more. I got to promote your guys' channel. I never do that. But I'm just trying to fill up. I'm just trying to fill up the time to make it a perfect 2 hours. I'm just my OC. But anyways, yeah, I got to promote you guys' channel more. I feel bad that I don't. But yeah, they have incredible channels.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's no problem. I have to. You know, you're my friends. You know, I gotta. You promote. I mean, you guys. Sometimes you guys promote my channel. I mean, I remember Scott posted the duck thumbnail. I mean, the penguin thumbnail. I remember because I was proud of that thumbnail. I won't lie. I was proud of that. But anyways, we've reached the 2 hour mark. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys for Who's Next. See ya.